Warning, the following countdown contains a lot of spoilers. Even though all of these games are pretty old and everyone should have played them by now. You know what my favorite part of a video game is? The levels and stages. They are the heart and soul of many video games. They are the parts of a video game in which you test your skills and show off most of the game's features. And because of my love towards them, I have come up with a countdown of my top 15 favorite levels and stages in video games. Now, I will be grading the levels in this list with a certain criteria. I will grade them on their features, their atmosphere, their music, the significance they have in the game, and overall, how much I like them. I'm not saying these are the best levels and stages ever created, but simply my favorites. The ones I always look forward to play whenever I play the game. But first, a couple of rules. I won't be including hub worlds in this list. I'm saving that one for a future list. And as always, one per franchise. And without further delay...
3, 2, 1, go!
Actually, as much as I love the Fountain of Dreams and its music, it just can't beat Big Blue as my favorite stage from Super Smash Bros. Coming at you from Captain Falcon's game F-Zero, Big Blue consists of fighting your enemies while riding on speeding F-Zero machines. How awesome can it get? Actually, it does get more awesome. The music that plays in this stage is a remix of the original Big Blue theme, accompanied with badass guitar riffs and an even faster pace. And back to the stage itself, the stage can shift between fighting on top of Captain Falcon's Blue Falcon to jumping across the other racing vehicles. If you happen to accidentally get knocked out of the vehicles, you're out of the game. That fact makes fighting in this stage all the more thrilling. I love this stage in Melee, so when I discovered that it was in Brawl's Melee stages, guess what stage I played first? Oh, I know! Onet! Ow! The housing complex from No More Heroes 2 might not be as impressive as other levels, but it ranks this position for a damn good reason. The atmosphere. This stage is some sort of abandoned apartment building, or a ghetto, or just a bunch of buildings stacked together. You know what? I don't care. I'm no architect. You walk around the mostly desolated place during a beautiful sunset, hacking and slashing everything in your way. This is a perfect chance to test your skills at the game before the final battle. After crossing the ghost town, you finally enter inside the apartments, where more enemies to kill await you. And after that, the final part of the level. In this part, the song that you're hearing right now plays. This song with the hilariously unfitting name of Toothpaste is something you would never hear in a game like No More Heroes. But it is undoubtedly one of the best songs in the game. And it fits the level so well! Throughout the game, Travis has come to realize the value of human life and begins seeing senseless killing as something atrocious. And now you find yourself just about to fight the second-ranked assassin. Wondering why are you doing this? Ending the lives of so many people like they had no value. Deep stuff, man. And to top it all up, the awesome battle against the second-ranked assassin, Alice Twilight.
You asked for it. Bring it on!
This is a long level. And like I said before, it probably isn't that impressive compared to other levels that we'll see later in the list. But I enjoyed playing every second of this level. Once again, the atmosphere is what makes this level a very good one. In the final battle of Cave Story, you defeat the main villain, known as the Doctor, then you fight him again, this time in the form of the Undead Core. Then you and Sue escape and the island comes crashing down. Kind of a bittersweet ending, but okay, I guess. Wait! Does the game really end that way? What about Balrog and Misery? What about Curly? What about them? Tell me! It turns out, there is one final level in the game. And it is epic. These are the Sacred Grounds, the true final level of Cave's story. And it is hell. No, seriously, that's what it says in the sign at the beginning of it. This is by far the hardest level in the game. It's filled to the brim with instant kill death spikes and some of the most ruthless enemies in the game. Again, it's a really hard level, but it's still freaking awesome. And you also find Curly! And with Curly by your side, you storm your way through the level, flying and avoiding deadly traps and blasting through enemies and obstacles. It makes you feel so powerful. Plus, throughout the level, you see little tidbits of information that are actually a backstory behind the true final boss of the game and the Sacred Grounds themselves. And finally, you reach the final battle against the real villain of the game, Balos. He created the Demon Crown, which was the spark for the events of the game, and due to his madness, he destroyed his land and the people who loved him. So he was sealed away in the Sacred Grounds. And after the action-packed final battle against him, you see the true golden ending for the game. Misery, Balrog, Curly, and the island are safe, and you finally get to go home. It was a hard run, but totally worth it. Pop quiz. What do you get when you take the Death Star from Star Wars and combine it with the fast-paced platforming of a Sonic game? Nothing more than the level that ranks the 12th position in this list. The Death Egg Zone. I mean it, this is very much the video game equivalent of the Death Star. A large floating machine filled with dozens of deadly traps for you to run through. The level itself has a nice look to it too. I don't know, I've always liked the industrial or factory-esque places. They remind me of my childhood? I don't know really. But anyway, I was describing why this level is so awesome. You build your way through the stage, flying around in electricity, riding lifts and avoiding deadly floors, riding in this weird electric thing, I don't really know what it is, but it's still awesome nonetheless. Jumping, getting catapulted around, jumping some more, and even gravity-based sections. It's such a fast-paced level guaranteed to keep you entertained. A fun, thrill ride that shows off what the game is all about. And of course, it has some awesome boss battles to boot. Plus, a little funny scene. Overall, I enjoyed this level very much. I may have not played many Sonic games, but from the ones I've played, this was my favorite by far. The two final levels of Final Fantasy IX, Memoria and the Crystal World, are both fantastic places. But let's talk about them one by one. Memoria is a place made of people's memories. Where does it come from? Was it summoned by Kuja, who just appears after Terra's destruction? I don't f***ing know. Naturally, because this is an RPG, there aren't many interesting features aside from wandering around the place fighting monsters. But I love this level for two reasons. One being the significance it has in the game. Because it is made of the memories of every person in the world, you get to see the memories of the heroes, such as the annihilation of Alexandria, which was already a pretty powerful scene to begin with. You also see other memories such as Gaia's birth and its early existence. All the while, Garland's voice guides you through the place. In this level you also get to fight the 4 Chaos Guardians, all being pretty tough, yet awesome battles. The other reason I love this place is because of the scenery. Such beautiful, surreal, and dreamy settings, with the soothing music that plays. It's so peaceful. After defeating the final Chaos Guardian, you wander around the starry space labyrinth where Garland tells you his final wish. And finally you enter the Crystal World, a place beyond time and space formed by extensive sets of crystal roads. The place Kuja used to attempt to destroy the birth of all things. In this place, you really feel the build-up for the final battle rushing through. Like you're approaching something truly evil. And finally, you reach the big bad. The evil, and absolutely fruity, villain of Final Fantasy IX, Kuja, in an awesome final battle. Also Necron. But seriously, nobody cares about Necron. In the end, due to its atmosphere and the significance it has to the game, Memoria and the Crystal World are two places that will forever be in my memory. No pun intended. Dark Carnival from Left 4 Dead 2 is my favorite level of the game. For what reasons? For these reasons, baby! For starters, it takes place entirely during nighttime, which adds a whole lot of atmosphere. You start the level crossing through a crowded highway and wind up in a motel. Afterwards, you roll down a hill into a river while trying to survive the regular zombies and the special infected trying to get you, until you climb up the hill and enter the first safe room. And that was all just a warm-up for things to come. You then enter the abandoned carnival, which is actually a really exciting version of the cliched haunted carnival. So much happens! You cross your way fighting hordes of zombies, navigating your way through a bloody tunnel of love, sliding and shooting, jumping across houses, and you even get to fight zombies on a roller coaster! How awesome is that? Okay, it would actually be more awesome if you could kill zombies while riding a coaster cart, but still, really dang cool. And for extra challenge and thrills, try doing the level while carrying Gnome Chomsky. And finally, you begin the final part of the level, the rescue chapter. And it is explosive! You get to fight hundreds of zombies from all parts of the concert stage, including the towers and the seats, burning zombies to a crisp with fireworks and blowing them away with bombs, all the while the awesome songs by the Midnight Riders play in the background. And when the rescue arrives, you and your comrades burst your way to reach the helicopter and fly away. The atmosphere and the action this level has to offer make it my favorite level of the game. Some might argue that other levels such as the Parish are better, but I personally enjoy this level the most. It left the biggest impression on me, and it's the level I find myself playing most often. Let's take out the checklist of reasons why I love Phendrana Drifts. Awesome atmosphere, beautiful music, excellent setting, great features. While it isn't that much different from the other areas in Talon, Phendrana Drifts in particular is my favorite for those previously mentioned reasons, and other reason I can't quite mention. I don't know why, but this was the level that left the biggest impression on me. It's just like the Captain Vladimir battle from No More Heroes 2. I don't know why I love it, but I just do. In all seriousness now, this level is great. The exploration here is my favorite from the game. Going into fantastic looking areas such as the Space Pirates Research Facility, to the atmosphere-tastic Choso Ice Temple and the Chapel of the Elders. Getting across the level with the Spider Ball and fighting some challenging yet fair enemies. And the boss of this area ain't that bad either. Plus, in this level you get the Wave Beam! Okay, enough of that. Now, there might be better levels out there in the Metroid series, but I haven't played many Metroid games. Then again, there are several game series which I haven't played many games of. But until I find the level I like more, Phendrana Drifts holds the title for my favorite Metroid level of all time. Magatsu Inaba and Magatsu Mandala from Persona 4 are awesome. Next segment. Nah, I have to explain what makes these two levels so great. But funny thing is, there isn't much to say other than this level has one of the best goddamn build-ups for a final battle I've ever seen! Near the end of Persona 4, after stopping the supposed killer of Inaba, everything appears to go back to normal. But you can't shake off the feeling that something's wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's because the true killer was Adachi all along!
I didn't know it was dangerous inside the TV. It's not like I was trying to kill them.
Yep, the guy who you've always thought was a trusty ally was in reality the mastermind killer. And after you find the truth, you also find out that if you don't stop him, the human world and the shadow world will merge in fog, and all the life will come to an end. Only one thing to do. Follow him to his lair. And what a better lair for a final boss than a dark, twisted version of the town you thought you called home. Magatsu Inaba. This final level, which is divided in two parts, is intense in all sense. It's an intense build-up for the final confrontation, and it's an intense level in general, filled with some of the toughest enemies in the game. And so you run across halls, contemplating the strange scenery and fighting enemies. Standard RPG stuff. but in this level it feels so awesome! You're getting closer to give that bastard Adachi what he deserves, and the build-up for the final battle grows stronger every second. Near the end of Magatsu Inaba, you find a point that seems like a dead end. How do you cross it? You have to go down a hole and enter the second part of the level, Magatsu Mandala. And here's where things get serious. The enemies get tougher, and you fight some super hard mini-bosses. It's a tough level, but oh so exciting. Like I said before, it builds up for the final confrontation with Adachi like you wouldn't believe. And the levels themselves have a pretty awesome atmosphere too, running through the maze of shadows while Adachi taunts you and gives you some words that make you think. And all culminates with the incredible final confrontation with Adachi and Ame no Sagiri. Both freaking awesome battles. But not before you hear Adachi's poetic speech about humanity that puts Kefka to shame.
Honestly, we don't need our world anymore. Better to let it be swallowed up, and for mankind to turn into shadows.
Both this world and yours will soon be enclosed in a fog that never lifts. It will be the peaceful world that mankind has longed for. I am the one that shepherds humans to their true desires. Though their hearts longed for peace, it could never be attained. So they tore down the wall between image and reality. Humans view things as they see fit. They wish not for truth, but rather prefer the undesirables be hidden in fog.
I would love to show you the whole speech, because it really is an amazing and thought-provoking speech. But that will take up a lot of space in this video, so watch it for yourselves. Ah, shut up! Dark, exciting, philosophical, and absolutely cool. Magatsu Inaba and Magatsu Mandala are definitely one of the best final levels in any RPG. And yes, I know Persona 4 has a true final level, but let's just say I like the Magatsus better. Midway through Okami, you travel to Ryoshima Coast and meet a series of characters who will help you in your adventure to vanquish evil, including Priestess Rao and Queen Himiko. And not much later, it turns out that Rao was a demon in disguise who then murders Queen Himiko and nearly kills you too. So then you head out to the Demon's Lair, the stronghold of beasts and demons and the place the game has been building up since the beginning of the second act. Behold, Oni Island. What is this place, you may ask? Well, in case you have a really bad attention span and didn't pay attention to what I just said 5 seconds ago, this is the stronghold of all the evil forces that have been wreaking havoc in Ryoshima Coast, and the lair of the main villain of the second act, Ninetales. This place, not only does it look threatening, but it is threatening. You enter the island by walking across Queen Otohime, who just transformed into the water dragon. At this point, when Izun tells you there's no turning back, you know shit's about to get real. And after swimming through a river of lava and defeating the tough gatekeepers, you finally break inside the fortress. Oni Island looks remarkably a lot like a school I used to study in. Inside the fortress, challenge awaits you when you meet an interesting character named Toby, who challenges you to race against him in several obstacle courses with increasing difficulty. Now, Toby might be a floating scrap of paper, but he can run like the wind. And for each race you win, you get to progress through the level. In this place, so much happens. You go through a maze, walk across electricity floors, kill strong enemies, go through a gauntlet of lasers, and meet the God of Thunder Gekigami, who grants you his power to control electricity. And what more could you possibly add to make this place the best level in the game? Oh yeah, a fight with Ninetales at the top of the tower. An epic conclusion to an epic level.
and his parasites. Rapture is on the rise.
When it comes to menacing atmospheres and awesome build-ups for big events in video games, there's no level like Hephaestus, the main power production facility of Rapture, which connects to the lair of the villain of the game, Andrew Ryan.
Now would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch? It's time to finish this.
And because this level is essentially a power facility, that means... Yay, more factory levels! That was a little awkward. As you walk into the power plant, with the menacing red glow and the foreboding music that plays, you get a feeling that something bad is about to happen. Like, really bad. You start off the level with a rather unkind welcome when you attempt to enter Ryan's office and discover his, quote-unquote, trophy wall of people who previously tried to assassinate him, including his friend Bill McDonough. This lets you know that Ryan means business. You then try to enter his office only for him to lock himself shut. You are given instructions to overload the geothermal core which will open the door to Ryan's office. To do so, you find an incomplete electric bomb that will override the place. But first, you have to get the remaining elements necessary for its completion. And then you find yourself in a thrilling and extremely violent fetch quest for the remaining components. You face splicers that like to play dead and kill big daddies to obtain their wires while getting Adam in the process. As you progress through the level, getting closer and closer to completing the bomb, you listen to dialogue that reveals very sinister information of Rapture and yourself.
A man builds a city at the bottom of the sea. That's a marvel. Another man happens to be on a plane that crash lands on the same city in the middle of the ocean. Why, that sounds more like a miracle.
After the bomb is finished, you venture through the deepest of Hephaestus, destroying all obstacles in your way. But as you get closer to the core, Ryan tells you some intriguing and threatening words.
So far away from your family, from your friends, from everything you ever loved. But for some reason, you like it here. You feel something you can't quite put your finger on. Think about it for a second, and maybe the word will come to you. Nostalgia. What did Atlas offer you? A piece of my plundered city? Mark my words, your only reward will be a knife in the back.
It makes you think, what does he mean? You finally plant the bomb and head in to assassinate Ryan. In Ryan's office in the Rapture Central Control, things get out of hand.
My strength is not in steel and fire. That is what the parasite will never understand. A season for all things. A time to live and a time to die. A time to build and a time to destroy!
You race against time to stop Ryan before the place goes down and sinking. But on your way to Ryan's office, you stumble upon this room. What is this wall? What's up with all the pictures? Is that a picture of you? And at last, you reach Ryan and experience the event that cements this level as my favorite in the game. The reveal.
Was there really a family? Did that airplane crash? Or was it hijacked? Forced down. Forced down by something less than a man, something bred to sleepwalk through life until they are activated by a simple phrase.
Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
There ain't no Atlas, kid. Never was. The name's Frank Fonte.
Thanks for everything, kid. Don't forget to say hi to Ryan for me.
Yes, all this time you've been following orders because you were an experiment. Born in Rapture and brought back to help a more perverse man you thought was your friend. This is arguably the greatest moment in Bioshock, and it was the selling point for me. Simply amazing.